All right, so welcome. These are going to be our superposition notes. So if you haven't already, go ahead, open our classroom, click on classwork. It's going to be under our Unit 6 topic, and then go ahead and it should be right at the top. You're going to find your superposition notes, and you'll have your Cornell document there to take your notes. Please make sure that you include highlights and a 3 to 5 sentence summary before turning them in. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so you might have remembered a little bit about superposition and fossils, possibly probably back in elementary school and a little bit in junior high, when you talked about plate tectonics and how things move around. And so I'm just going to do a quick kind of review, and then you guys are going to actually see how some of this stuff helps with evidence of evolution. Okay, so our central question here for these notes is, what is the law of superposition and how do we use it to date fossils? Okay, so fossils, let's go ahead and define what those are. So what is a fossil? What do we say is a fossil? It is the trace or remains of an organism that lived long ago, mostly preserved in sedimentary rock. So this is an example of a fossil of something that looks like a shellfish, most likely, that lived a long time ago. And fossils give us clues to the Earth's past. It also gives us clues to an animal's past, as we're talking about evolution and what they might have been like hundreds of years ago. Okay, and what kind of clues do fossils show us? Well, clue to surface changes. So surface changes could be like going from land to water or water to land, such as shark teeth are actually found in rocks. So at one time, that means in Venice, Florida and South Carolina, they find a ton of these shark teeth, and they've been found in rocks. And so they know that even though now it's dry land, that at one time it was actually covered by water. So the fact that we can find fossils of animals that only live in water, we know that that land was once covered by water. What are some other things they might show us? So clue to climate change, such as plant fossils are found in the Arctic, which is super cold, where plants don't grow anymore. But finding a plant fossil in the rock of the Arctic shows us that it was a warmer climate at one time. So finding those, and this is actually a picture of an actual plant fossil, okay? So the law of superposition, when we're talking, is younger rocks lie above older rocks if the layers have not been disturbed. So if there hasn't been, a huge earthquake or things destroying the layers of rock, as you can see, this rock is actually cut in. Our older layers are actually here at the bottom, and the younger ones are up here at the top. Okay, so these were put there who knows how many thousands, millions of years ago, and these are our newer layers that have come on top. Okay, and so which fossils are older, top or bottom? And of course the ones that are older are going to be our bottom ones. So as you can see is here, you have the first one here, and the fish is swimming in the water. He dies, and it sits here and it becomes a fossil. Well, now we no longer have water and we have land, and here's our little iguanas, maybe one of our first one. He dies and he ends up here, and now we have layers of dirt on top of him, and then in the recent years, then the monkey comes. Such as, so the deeper we dig, the farther back in time we go. And we can date the fossils by using what we call carbon dating. And you'll learn about how carbon dating works with nuclear chemistry when you guys get into chemistry class. But they use this carbon dating. It's how much carbon is broken down over a certain period of time, and they can actually date those rocks based on how much carbon is actually left. And then because of that dirt around it has a certain age, then that they know how old the fossil is. Okay, so just a little question for thought this week. So as we're kind of coming into this week and going to start doing our labs, I want you guys to think, how does the law of superposition and fossil records help us to show evolution of a species? So I want this question just to kind of be in the back of your mind. as you start going through some of these labs, and we're going to work with our stickleback again. And I want you to start thinking, okay, so superposition, we know this happens. How does that help us show the evolution of a species? Okay. All right, so those are our superposition notes. I want you to go back. I want you to highlight any of the important notes you think. Make connections to any of your notes in the left-hand column. Write any questions you may have also in the left-hand column, and then use your highlights, connections, and questions for your summary. And remember, you're going to add those highlights and make sure you finish up that 3 to 5 sentence summary before you submit them. If you have any questions, please let me know.